it's just crazy, man, that I was a part of that history, and that's just one half, you know. And then once from the 313 era up, you know, that's when you know, I started the 313 wave, and then after then, you know, doing all of the freestyle sessions on 6 Mile and even at the hip hop shop, me and Proof got cool during that time in the 90s, and then we did a record together back in 90 what was that, 92 or 91, called Silence to Violence, with all the rappers from Detroit. They got us all together to do this record, and me and Proof, we teamed up on that record for the first time way back before there was a D12 or Eminem or any of that stuff, and that's how me and him really came to be friends. And then once I branched off and did my thing in Atlanta, touring with Breed and all of that, I come back to the D about, you know, 97, and he, you know, they calling me like, yo, you know, Dre just signed Marshall. You know, I'm like, who? He's like, who? He's like, you know, the white boy from the hip hop shop. You know, Dr. Dre just signed. This was like 97, and I'm like, wow, for real? Like, wow. You know, everybody was excited. Like, what is he gonna do with Marshall? What is he gonna do with Eminem? You know, and so when he came out with the My Name Is, I'm looking on MTV like, shit, this dude, he doing the damn thing. And Proof told me that shit was going down. So they got the Chronic tour and all that shit happened like the following year or so. And I moved back to Detroit, and Proof is back. He's on tour with them, and he calls me like, yo, I'm in town. He gave me passes to the Chronic tour. We hooked up. We got into the studio, and we cut the first Chromatic record, which was Tear This Bitch Up. And that record, we recorded it. Proof loved it. He said, let's do another one. Then we did another one. Then we did another one. Then another one. Another one. And next thing you know, we had a whole fucking album, and that shit was going down in you know, between 2001 and 2002. And then we dropped the Chromatic. We ended up deciding not to go with Shady and going, because we could have. He took it to Shady first, and you know, but then we ended up going with another direction, being that we don't want to have any. You know, he was already signed as D12, so we had to take a different route. We didn't want any conflict of interest, so we ended up doing Chromatic on another label, which is was an indie label, rap. It's called Rap now, but damn, back then, what the fuck was that label? But anyway, the Chromatic label, you know what it is. I don't even want to say the label's name because they didn't pay me right. But anyway, so the label, we did the Chromatic in '02. Yeah, we did it in '02, '03. So that's it, man. So now I'm gonna give it back to you. But that's my history all the way up until now. And then everybody know that, you know, we lost Proof in '06. And, you know, I've been dropping mixtapes and everything since when Proof was alive I started. But, you know, I've been dropping my own mixtapes since 2005. So we 10 years sped up, and we right here at 313,000, which is going to be my final release. So everybody need to go get it. The shit is fire. All the DJs are calling back. They're like, this shit is like your best work. And I'm like, wow, really? I'm not insulted, but I'm like, wow, really my best work. So that's cool. So, you know, 313,000 is straight flames.
Memories of Proof. Like, when was the last time you talked to him before that?
The last time me and Proof, yeah, man. I always think about that because the last time I seen Proof was at the studio in Oak Park. In Oak Park, Michigan, a studio that we had Sick Notes. That was me and my production company, me and my nephew. He goes by D Notes now, but Sick Notes at the time, we had a studio in Oak Park. And I came in town because I was living in Atlanta still at that time. And this was like, it was in '06. It was like it was like in February, and we lost him in April. So it was actually 2 months, and I flew in to record some Chromatic stuff with him, and so we did a couple of records, and we had a very good night, man. It was a really good night, you know, and we finished the records, and that night I decided not to go out with them, and I said I'm gonna go ahead, man, because just had came into town. There was snow everywhere. But, Proof, he wanted to hang out. And I'm like, yo, man, I love y'all, man. We said we loved each other, man. I walked out the studio, and that was the last time I seen him because I didn't get a chance to run back into him before I left out back for Atlanta. And so maybe about 6 weeks later, Bizarre gave me the call, and actually it was more than Bizarre, but it was me and Bizarre was in Atlanta when it happened, and a couple of people called and said a D12 member got shot last night in Detroit, and I'm like, they said they don't know which one it was, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know who it is. We didn't know which member that it was, but then I got the call from Bizarre and said, yeah, it was Proof, and I just broke down, and then I went, and me and Bizarre decided to get together that day, so I drove over to his house, and we just, we was on the phone. He was on the phone with him, and on the phone with everybody from Detroit, and it was just a crazy day. And then, Bizarre actually bought my ticket home to Detroit so I could, come back home and congregate with everybody and go to the funeral and everything. So yeah, that's how it happened. For me, that's where I was at when it happened. But crazy day, man.
Friends. Yeah, you guys were actually friends. He wasn't just like a local rapper to you. How hard was that for you to overcome to continue to do music? Because I know when that happened, Eminem fell off, and it took him a while to even be able to talk about it and to feel comfortable doing music. Did you run into the same problem?
Yeah, I think everybody that was connected to Proof had a standstill moment after his death. Because it was like everything, that guy was holding everybody up. You know what I mean? He was holding him up. He was holding D12 up. He was holding me up. He was holding 5Ella up. It was crazy. He was holding Iron Fist. He was holding them up. And then when he was just gone like that, boom, he was gone. It was a crazy reality, and everybody was at a standstill moment. We was all in shock. Everybody was in awe. I don't think I made maybe one record until after he died, and I didn't make another record, for a couple of years after that. I don't think M did either. No, I mean, we was just he was our inspiration, but then I had to use my memory of him and everything that he showed me and taught me about the game to keep moving, and that made me better after that.